Hello. Hi,
Hi.
everybody. I'm Diane, and this is Cherie.
Hi.
Welcome to Welcome to Money, Mindset, and Confidence. Um, the intention of our call today is really to get some clarity and discussion around things that we're both very passionate about, which is confidence and money mindset. So, Cherie, do you want to start with introducing yourself and a little bit about how we came together or what this is all about?
Sure. Thanks everyone for joining us today on this live. This is so exciting. I am the Queen of Confidence. I help professionals have unshakable confidence, squash their self doubt, and have an executive presence and build the life of their dreams. You can have a great career, but it's also about having your life. So that's actually how I came to meet Diane. We're in a group together, and actually, we have a coach, and she's coaching us in a group program. And we came together, and we figured out that there was a lot of synergy, not just great haircuts, but great synergy.
Yeah.
So we start talking about money and mindset and confidence and how they all work together. So I'll turn it back over to Diane so she can tell her story.
Okay. Thanks, Cherie. Yeah, it was pretty cool. We came together and we found that as we were talking about our clients, there were so many similarities. And the work that I do with my clients, I started out in sales and marketing, and I'm one of those people that absolutely love sales. So the people that I work with, if they have issues with sales, quite often what I have found is that it's actually issues with money or with confidence. And so when Cherie and I started talking about this, we thought, there's similar questions from our clients that come up, and so many situations where if somebody has confidence, their sales and money ability changes and their abundance ability changes. If they have abundance, their confidence changes. So it's kind of like the chicken before the egg or the egg before the chicken situation. So we thought, let's jump on and have a little discussion about it. Bring up some of the questions that we get asked most often. And certainly, if you have questions, put them in the chat and we'll try to get them all answered for you. So I think, one of the reasons why we're doing this right now is we both posted on social media just to kind of find out about money, mindset, and confidence and how people felt about it. And I think both of us can agree there were all kinds of really mixed messages coming in. So it's definitely something that people either are struggling with or have thought about and aren't sure what to do and how to overcome. So that's kind of one of the reasons why we're here. So, Cherie, maybe you can talk a little bit about just some of the things that you find with your clients and your confident success circle and the kind of things that people are bringing up to you, and then we can kind of go from there.
Well, I'll start out by talking about my struggle with money and mindset. I too have been in sales for over 20 years. And, it's that is a part of who I am and being a salesperson and understanding the sales process. But do I feel confident for what's the old saying? You always have to be closing.
Yeah, yeah,
And that was never who I was. I was never that salesperson that was always closing and always um, doing that. It's more of a relationship sell. And that's why this business was such a natural. But getting into business for yourself, you tell yourself a lot of things in your head. And part of it is, I hope I have this business. I hope this business takes off. I hope this. I hope that. And actually, someone had to tell me, knock it off, because if you're telling yourself that story, that's what you're going to manifest, and that's what the universe is going to bring you. Maybe this will happen. And it's when you start making those shifts and say, I have this business. This is a viable business. This is what I'm doing. That whole shift in your mind is like just turned on the switch and made all the difference in the world. Um, so that's something I hear all the time, and that's about being confident in who you are. Diane and I were talking earlier, and I hear a lot from my clients that they fake confidence, but they don't really have it. They don't know how to raise their hand in a Zoom meeting. They don't know how to have a presence and what to present and that the world we live in, Zoom is it right now. It probably won't be in 2022. I don't like saying that, but it's going to take some time to get back to normal. So we all have to be confident in how we present ourselves, and you have to have inner confidence. You can't just present confidence, because if you're just faking it till you make it, it can be crumbled if something happens. Say you lost your job, or you lost your business, or something happened, that would be, you'd be devastated. Real confidence is about being able to pick yourself up and brush yourself off and keep going and do the things you need to do to get back to where you were.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And I think even for myself, part of my story was, I worked in the corporate world and did really well. And when I was doing sales and marketing, especially sales, I was representing another company. When I ended up out on my own in, small business, kind of in the world of entrepreneurship, I then had to, it was myself that I was really putting out there. And that was a real shift in my confidence level, because I didn't have this company backing me up. It wasn't their product. It was actually me. So I had to be able to be really confident in myself and my services and my skills. But to me, your skill set and the tools that you have, that's great. Those are things that you can learn and develop over time. But if you lack that inner confidence, you're just not going to go anywhere. No matter how many skills and how many courses and how many seminars and how many trainings you've done to hone your skills and be better at what you do, if you don't have that confidence, I mean, it's really what Cherie talks about, the uncrushable confidence. And I think what I have seen over and over is these people have done so much work around marketing and sales and promotion of their business. And if they took that amount of work that they've done and go inward, start working on the inner game, not just the outer game of your business and yourself, it's the best investment you can make. It's certainly the way to move your business and yourself forward, is to really figure out your why, and why you're going to do it no matter what the economy. One of the things that I say in my business is find your value. And it's really find your value in any economy at any time. It doesn't matter what's happening in the environment around you. What matters is how you're presenting yourself, what you're doing, how you're carrying on. And if you have that uncrushable confidence, you're going to be able to pivot and shift and do all the things you need to do to keep going, to satisfy that why within you. Why am I doing this? And why am I going to continue on no matter what? So I think that's why when we were talking, we thought there's just so many similarities between the confidence work that Cherie is doing with her clients and how it relates to just money blocks and all the things that are happening on the inner game when you're doing sales and marketing as well. Yeah. So it's interesting, and in some of the comments that came in from social media was talking a little bit about the imposter syndrome. And there's really, really successful people who still feel that they don't deserve it. And, you see a lot of failures and sabotage and all that kind of stuff happening because of people really lacking the confidence that they have to just keep going. They deserve it. They're worth it. And they know they have something of value to offer to the world.
Yeah. In fact, there's I have this in one of my slide decks that I present this, but one of the people, well, two of the actresses that I was shocked that have imposter syndrome and they say that they suffer is Glenn Close and Natalie Portman. And, no matter how successful they get and how many awards they gather up and, how many Oscars, they feel like that all could be taken away because people will figure out that they're frauds, that they're not really as good as what people think. And even people in business and people in the corporate world, they get that way too. You get a promotion or you make that next step of your business and you think, well, what if they find out that I don't know what I'm talking about? What if they figure out that I don't know shit? So, that imposter syndrome can affect us all. And it really does come down to having the confidence to know that you know what you're doing, who you are. And like Diane said, it's getting back to that why, the why am I doing this and what is my story? And I have a lot to say. And once you find that voice, it's hard to keep it quiet. You can't keep it quiet. Would you agree, Diane?
Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah, because when you do find that voice, all of a sudden it just makes so much sense and you just want to get it out there. Yeah, I agree. And Sheree, we've got some questions in the chat that I just figured out how to open.
I'm glad you did.
So thanks everybody for putting things in there. So Lisa is asking, can you increase confidence by gaining knowledge? And I think that's something, there's no question that there's a level of confidence that comes with gaining knowledge. But there's also, it's kind of a double-edged sword because you can spend all your time gaining knowledge and feeling like you don't have enough information before you can put yourself out there. So I think, gain some knowledge, but also understand that your life experiences and what you've gone through, and even if it's a small amount of knowledge, it's probably enough. In fact, it is enough to help somebody else who's right behind you, who's going through the exact same thing and could benefit from your experience and what you've gone through and just some of the tips to get them through. So, no question, knowledge is important, but it's not the only thing because I think we're all, avid learners and we keep learning as we go along. And of course, it's going to give us confidence. But I think just having the stance that I know enough that I can help somebody else who, I can help and serve them in my area of expertise because I've been there and done that. And also I have these tools to help them as well. What do you think about that, Sheree?
Yeah, I totally agree. And we each have a unique story. Nobody has a journey like you do. You can't, even if you may have the same schooling or you're on the same level as that other person, say you have the exact same degrees or whatever. Their story is going to be different than yours. And you can never compare yourself. I hear a lot of questions about, well, I want to be where she is and I want to be where, have what she has. You don't know what is behind that other person's journey. You have your journey, and sharing your journey is going to give you more confidence. I always use this story about riding a bike. You never have confidence in the beginning because you've got your training wheels and the first time, you're telling your mom and dad, don't let go. And then you get the training wheels off after a little while, and then you're riding a bike and you're learning how to move those pedals and stay balanced and all of the things. Well, you didn't have any confidence, but you built it up by trying over and over and over again. And a lot of confidence comes with trying things over and over. And if you make a mistake, which you will, then you pick yourself back up, brush your knees off, and get back on
Yeah.
that bike. So, it's confidence is just always growing. And I do believe in knowledge. I'm an avid learner. And
Hmm.
anyone who says, I don't want to to learn anything new, I just think, why are you here then? Because life is about learning things and we're always
Yeah.
learning.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. So we've got somebody from England. Hello from
Oh,
England. Yeah. Currently, my business is on hold as we're in lockdown. And as a project photographer, I've had to push all work into next year. If my clients are struggling, their businesses are closing and they're cutting back, how can I be sure there'll be work for me if the businesses aren't there? So I think, it's a great question because I mean, this is what we've been living, right? For the last 8 months or whatever it's been. I think it really comes down to, and my opinion on this is it comes down to your why and why you're doing what you're doing. And if this is your passion and you love it, then the business model that you had before and what's happening with your clients and all that sort of thing, that business model has to be looked at. And that needs maybe to shift a bit because I think what has come out of this lockdown and the pandemic is there's so many people that have done things completely different than they ever thought they were going to do before. And it's pushed people to really look into who are my clients, what are they doing, and how can I serve them in this situation. So the way I served them before was great, it's not going to work. So it really is looking at where are your clients and what are they doing right now. And I know photography is something that, if it's more one on one, there's lots of people who never thought that they could do things by Zoom or that there's different ways to do it. So I think it's more just of, understand really who your clients are, where they are right now. Some of them are going to have the same needs. I mean, I know of a photographer who, instead of going to the end consumer, they ended up working with other photographers and providing advice for those photographers to set things up in ways so that they could have their business over Zoom or whatever they were doing. So there's different things that can be done. I think it's a tough time, and it's asking all of us to look outside of the box and try to figure out a different way of approaching the same clients or maybe some different clients in the environment we're in right now.
yeah, it is. I mean, look at restaurants, how they've
Yeah.
had to pivot and change. And no, they're not out of the woods, but they've had to think out of the box. How can I do this with what I'm being allowed to do? The great thing about photography is there is some distance there. I am just thinking social distancing. There is some
Yeah. Yeah.
distance. You're not that close.
Yeah.
But given that your clients may not have their business, what do they need? Going
Yeah.
back to the clients and asking them, what are your needs right now? What can I help support you with? That goes a long way for clients. So I would definitely be checking in with them. But if this is what you're passionate about, you'll make it work. I
Yeah.
have no doubt. And
Yeah.
photography is one of those things that you have a gift, but you're also very passionate about.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, you know, there's always the internet to look to see what other
Oh
photographers
yeah.
are doing. Like obviously I'm not the only one. Cherie's not the only one. You guys aren't the only ones who have come across this, the issues that are out there with the pandemic. So, check out what other people are doing. There's a ton of creative people out there who have really looked at what their market needs, what their clients need, and just found a way to serve them. And it may be something very different than what you thought, but as long as you're serving your clients and you're very passionate about it, then it is right for you. And that why of why you want to do this and why you want to serve your clients should always be answered. So if it's to be creative and to provide memories for your clients, let's say, you can do that, but maybe in a different way. So anyway, there's a few ideas for you, and both Cherie and I do. I was just going to say, Cherie, both of us do kind of discovery calls that are free calls. So you're more than welcome to hop onto one of our calls, and we can further that discussion with you if you want.
Yeah, I just had this thought in my head. There are so many, I'm actually on a podcast tomorrow for teachers, and there's so many teachers out there struggling to come up with curriculum, and it may be a way to expand your business that may be teaching photography over Zoom, helping kids learn some things, or even parents who are trying to find activities for their kids because they're stuck at home, that offering photography classes. It may be a bridge until we're back to normal.
Or somebody like me who couldn't take a selfie if my life depended on it, or how to set up, like if you have a creative eye, help me set up my background here. Like there could be a variety of different ways that you can use your creativity to help people. So so the person from England said, where is it? Tell Cherie it's Susan. Does that make sense?
No. Can you say that again?
Tell Cherie it's Susan. I'll have to think outside the box.
Oh, hi, Susan. She's a natural photographer. So
great.
There's lots of things she can do. She's very talented. I do know Susan.
Good. Okay, we're anxious to see what you're going to do, Susan. You have to tell us all about it.
Yeah, I can't wait to see.
Yeah. Leslie asked, what strategies do you recommend to keep confidence up? That's a good question, especially with all the stuff that's going on in here and out here and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of it is what you tell yourself. And really it all starts with knowing not only your value, but your core values that shape who you are. And that's actually where we start in some of my program, my one-on-one program and my master classes, because you have to define your core values and you have to really hone those in because they're going to guide everything you do. So I always say start there and then build from there. What Diane says, knowing your value, knowing your worth too. I mean, it's knowing that you're valuable and what you're put on earth to do and the why, but it's also knowing your worth and making sure you're getting what you're worth when you put yourself out there.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and I think the other thing too is, there's that inner game that you definitely have to work on a regular basis. And then the outer world. And if you really can look at the meaning of what all of it is, if you're constantly hearing all the crap and awful things and terrible things that are going on in the world, that really starts to shake your inner confidence, no matter how confident you are. So I think things like we're doing here, the groups that I'm part of, where just, positive energy, positive people, not unrealistic, but just being honest about how they're feeling and what they're doing, and just being able to get some support from people who are like-minded, who are there to support when you're having a bit of you're shaky as far as your confidence goes. If you're immersed in a group or, friends, family, business peers, you certainly are going to feel a lot different if everybody's in it, but some people are, finding a way, they're thinking outside the box, they're creating successes. You kind of start saying, I can do that too. So I think part of it is, daily rituals just to make sure that you're keeping your inner game, on point, making sure you're feeling really good about everything that's going on. And if you're not, reach out to other people, because everybody's has ups and downs. And if you're in a group, or part of, part of family, part of friends, whatever it is, reach out, because somebody in that group is there to support you, and they're more than happy to support you, because you're going to be there to help support them. And again, looking online, seeing what other people are doing, and just saying, that's a great idea. I should be doing that too. I have those skills. I know I can do that. I think that helps to, just, daily building of your confidence, and making sure that it's up there, and when it's low, reach out, and make sure there's others to support you, to keep your confidence as high as it can be.
Yeah, and I think one thing too, having a mantra helps. I really believe in this, and part of my meditation that I go to sleep to, there's a mantra playing that's very positive and very uplifting, that I know I can do this. Those are the meditations that I gravitate towards, and that just plays, and it's 15 minutes. I'm usually asleep halfway through it, but at least
Yeah.
that's what I go to sleep listening to. And it does make a difference when you wake up in the morning, how you wake up, and you pull yourself out of bed. You don't want to take those covers and throw them over your head again. You actually want to keep that positive vibe going throughout the day.
Yeah. And I think another thing too is, if you're doing what you love and you're serving, and even if you're, laid off, or, between businesses, or shut down because of COVID, you're locked down, you can't do something. Find a way to do something to serve, because I think when you put yourself out there to help others, um, even if it's friends and family, or, people who are struggling, it certainly is a confidence builder for me. And I know it is for a lot of people, because there's a lot of value that we have, whether we're in our business, out of our business, on a high, on a low, whatever, we have value. And if you can share that value with anybody around you, who can use it, then that's certainly, a confidence builder, and it's going to give you more drive to get out and do more, especially when you're seeing what it's doing to people around you that you're helping.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, I think we've covered all the questions in there. Anything else that you were thinking comes up often in yours? Like, I'm just looking at where a couple of my other things that came out on social media.
Yeah, I'm looking at that too.
Oh, yeah. Somebody was saying, how is anybody advancing in their career or making money in this crazy time? Maybe you can speak to, just if anybody's in the corporate world, because I mean, as small businesses and entrepreneurs, or large businesses, we've been talking about pivoting and seeing what people are doing. So in a corporate situation where they're kind of in lockdown and now on Zoom, and I know you can speak to that. We were both in the corporate world. You still, are kind of hanging in the corporate world there. So
Yeah, yeah. You have to be present. You can't be, especially on Zoom. You can't be like this on your meeting. You have to be present. You have to be put yourself forward. If you have something to contribute to that meeting, and you're going to have a hard time getting your hand raised, or the person that is, how do I put it this delicately? They're not really good at facilitating the discussion,
yeah,
because that's a skill too that not everyone knows how to do, and even corporate leaders are having to learn how to facilitate large groups on Zoom. So and it's just like presenting, but you've got a lot of faces staring at you. But talking to that presenter or that facilitator beforehand and saying, I would like to contribute this. will you call on me so I can say this? I hear a lot from women that they don't know how to present themselves with a large amount of men. Um, and it's having a presence. It's having equal ground. I mean, we've made so many strides in this year and the last few years, but especially this year because we're looking at the first woman vice
I
president,
know.
which I'm very proud about. But you have to speak up. You have to say what's on your mind. And again, it gets back to having those core values and knowing what's true to you and being able to have the courage to do it. Because that's the only way you're going to expand and promote. If you're not comfortable, practice before. It's just like presenting. Know what your story is. Know that what you're going to present, the content of what you're going to present, and leave them with, if it's a decision at the end, that they need a call to action. And then one thing I always do before anything is my power stance, my superwoman pose. It really does help bring you into your power. And it doesn't take much to do that. 5 minutes before a meeting, do it, but definitely be present. And one thing I do talk about is make sure you're presenting yourself well. It's not, you don't have to wear makeup. You don't have to wear things that are not you, but you can't be wearing a hoodie. You can't be, this is not Trevor Noah's Tonight or the Daily Show with Trevor Noah on his couch. This is still the professional world, and you need to be professional, and you need to have a background that is suitable for business. You can actually go on Amazon and get a lot of different backgrounds that you could tape to the wall and no one would know. It's there's a lot you can do.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And I think you're absolutely right. It really is showing up. It, being there, showing up, being engaged. Leslie says, be prepared, which is true. Like, if you're there and you're engaged and you're prepared and you are treating this as though you were walking into a boardroom, as you would be, in the pre-COVID time, what are you doing to show up? What are you doing to be prepared? What are you doing to get noticed and be engaged and, and stand out in whatever way you can? So yeah, if your goal is to move ahead in your career, I think this is one of those times where the opportunity is there, and a lot of people just don't see it as an opportunity. They see this as everything being paused. But what's happening is companies that are showing up, businesses that are showing up, employees that are showing up, and entrepreneurs, everybody who's actually showing up and doing something to serve and to make it better and to create a better atmosphere and environment for everybody that they're interacting with. Those are the people that are going to be noticed. And you can't help but notice them because they stand out so much against all the other people who do have hoodies and who are, lounging on their couch and waiting for the pandemic to be over and waiting for this pause to be unpaused so that we can have our life back. But there's a lot of companies and there's a lot of businesses and there's a lot of people, employees, and, in corporate and outside of corporate, that this is the time. This is the opportunity that a lot of people have been waiting for to really be able to do something different and stand out. Now is the time. So it's just, again, that unshakable confidence that you have in yourself. And if your intentions are there, that you want to stand out and you want to advance your career and you want to then serve the people who you're, who you're speaking to. And if you're asked to a meeting, serve those people the best that you can. And if you consistently do that and you're confident in all the things that Cherie was talking about earlier, you're going to get noticed. And you're going to be one of the people that didn't just step back and wait for everything to happen. You're actually one of those people who's going to be engaged and really help to move the company or your business or your clients' businesses forward. And that's what everybody's looking for right now.
Yeah. Show up. I love that. Show up like to your Zoom meeting like it is a boardroom.
Yeah.
Yes, you can wear yoga pants on the bottom.
Yeah.
I'll be the first. I'm every day in yoga pants, but you don't look like it on top. And, show up just like you were going into that board meeting. And even if it's just a weekly meeting with your boss, don't put on that facade. Make it real, and show up for yourself. And that's having confidence.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think, I'd like to ask just whoever's on, and you can put in the chat. Has your confidence gone up or down in the pandemic? Do you find that you don't have as much courage as you would have before? I know money issues. There's lots of people who've had money issues and blocks and that kind of thing. So what sort of things has the pandemic done for you? Have you stepped back? Have you stepped forward? Have you stepped outside of the box that you were thinking about? Like, where is everybody as far as, kind of how they're feeling right now, and from the beginning of it to now? Do you kind of feel like you've been doing better or worse from the very beginning of the pandemic?
I will say one feedback on that I got from one of the podcasts I did was a lot of people are feeling fear. Fear is a huge topic because fear of the unknown, not knowing if they're going to lose their job or lose their business, not knowing how to move past that. And there's a lot of things you can do. I actually spent a whole month talking about fear in my Confidence Success Circle newsletter. You'll know this, Diane, because you get this.
I love it. It's great. Yeah.
So, we talked about all the tips you can do to rewire your brain to get past the fear, because fear is natural. We're all going to have fear. It keeps us safe. It keeps us from, jumping off the roof and onto the next floor or the ground. But it's what you do to rewire your brain and not live in that fear and move past it so that you can actually open up the new possibilities. And that there's a lot. The easiest one that always comes to mind is my fear list. When I start having these fears, I write down all the fears, and then I go through each one and go, is this rational? Could this really happen? No, it couldn't. Okay, move on. And you realize that most of the things that we tell ourselves about fear are not rational.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's, that as you're saying that, it sounds like worry too. You can spend all your time worrying, or you can just kind of go on and find things that are going to make you, less fearful, not as much worry. Lisa is saying, overwhelmed. And I think that that's a really good word that people have definitely expressed. There's, I think there's no question that there's just so much out there. And, especially at the beginning of all this, there was so much information and so many unknowns that fear was the automatic response. And then the other thing was overwhelm. Like, I don't know what to do. I don't know, what to do today. I don't know what to do in 2 months. I don't know what my future is going to look like. So when you have to start really looking at all of the things in your life, it certainly is huge overwhelm. And that's a good point. Like Carol is saying, Carolyn is a client, and she said from people like me who've been so supportive and instilled the faith in this will still work, because it will. If you can look at what you're doing and love what you're doing and know exactly who you are and what your clients are, just like I said before, that overwhelm, you can at least take a couple parts of it and figure out what you can do to have some semblance of order and some semblance of control. So the more you can do the things that you love with people that you love, the more you can serve, the more you can do for your clients or your business or the business that you're working for, the less fearful and the less overwhelmed you're going to feel. Because I think part of it is when things are out of control, you just don't know what to do to get back in control. And when so much is going on in the environment outside, that's when you really need to start looking inside and seeing what you can do to help yourself with that overwhelm and with that control. And yeah, Leslie's saying, I lost my job a few months ago, and my confidence has definitely taken a beating. And yes, fearful, stressed, and with the uncertainty. Yeah, and I think that's a lot of people are in that boat, and it's taking it day by day and not having to look so far ahead. And I think part of that is looking back as well, because you're saying, this is what I had. Am I ever going to have that again? And again, it has to do with shifting and believing that you're enough, and uh, you can be out there in a different way, and that there are people who are being successful right now, and there's nothing that's preventing you from being one of those people.
And having a plan. First of
Yeah.
all, when you do lose your job, having that time to mourn. A lot of people don't think about this, but you should definitely give yourself a break, because it's difficult. It's a gut punch, and whether you're expecting it or not, it's a gut punch, and you have to let yourself go through those stages. You don't stay there though. You have to move on, and then having a plan. What is my plan? Who do I want to work for? This is a time to really take your core values and align them to a company that you want to be with, and start the networking process and finding the people that you need to expand your breadth and who you know. LinkedIn's a great platform for that, and if you have a plan, and then I always say, if your resume needs brushed up, hire someone to get your resume brushed up, and from there you can do your LinkedIn profile. You can, if you need help interviewing, find someone to help you interview. I always, and this is my personal journey, but I always blew people away and people I coached about interviewing, and I don't do interview coaching any longer. But have a presentation. How are you going to present yourself? You are what you're selling to that company.
Yeah, that's right. That's true.
Make sure you are presenting the best possible. And I blew the competition out of the water because I always went in there. I could be hurting inside because of my confidence wasn't high, but I made sure that I was presenting the best possible me that I could present to them. And what can I do for them? Because it's not about you. It's about what you can do for them.
Yeah, that's right.
So good luck.
Yeah.
With that. But if you'd like to chat more, I can give you some other ideas. Love
Yeah.
to have coffee, virtual coffee.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah. And I think, what you said about LinkedIn and network is so huge that, sometimes we just think within ourselves, like, what can I do? But again, if you look outside of your own self to other people who have, who hold you in high regard and think you've done a great job at whatever company that you were at before, or whatever you were doing before, those are people who also have a bunch of networks. And I think one of the things that people don't do is look to their social network, their business network, LinkedIn, all of those things, where if you put out there, who you are, what you're doing, and what you want, somebody knows somebody. And it's, quite often the way people get jobs is they were referred, somebody recommended them. You heard about this position through somebody that you knew. So this is the time when everybody's, not necessarily out there doing as much networking as they were before. Networking is still happening. It's still happening in groups, online. And I mean, it just in our circle, I know a number of people who've been hired through the pandemic. So it's companies aren't on hold. They still need to do business. They're still looking for good people. And again, if you're one of those people that are showing up and standing out and, showing that you can survive in any kind of environment, that's the kind of person that a company's going to want to jump in and hire you on. So yeah, good luck. Good luck. Anything else? I do want to make sure that we put in the chat or just let people know how they can reach out to us. But is there any other topic that you wanted to cover, Cherie?
I think we covered a lot here today. I'm looking at the questions that we wrote up before and the ones that were presented. And, I think we...
I think we covered, most of the ones.
Most of them. And this is not going to be our only Facebook live chat. So we're going to have other ones, and we have some exciting things coming up with Diane and I. We're in the works of creating. And so you're going to see more of us doing more things. And so you'll have a chance to type in. You can always reach us. Are you going to type it in the chat, or do you want me to, Diane?
Yeah, I can type it in if you want.
Okay. So in the chat is our information, how to find us. And it's our websites, and you can hop on a call. We do have discovery calls or virtual coffee chats. You have to bring your own coffee. Sorry. Pumpkin spice latte I can't deliver over Zoom. But we both have calls. If something we said today resonates with you and you want to get in touch with us and discover, maybe additional steps that you can take personally to move forward, that's what we're here to help you with.
Yeah. And I think, the other thing too, I think Leslie was asking about group workshops, and we have lots of good things that we're, that we're kind of just working on. I think when Cherie and I started talking about all this, we did see that we've got a lot of similarities in the clients that we're working with. And I think some of my clients could benefit from what she's doing, and her clients can benefit from mine. So if there's a way that we can work together to give as much value to our clients, that's certainly what we're looking at doing. We thought we would start with these lives just to get a conversation going and, solve some of the issues that we seem to be getting over and over, some of the same questions. So definitely, as Cherie said, we'll be doing more of these lives. And also, sure, we're hoping that we can put together some maybe group workshops and that sort of thing to help people with the things that are most of concern to them or most relevant. So if you've got ideas, we're open to ideas. And as Cherie said, I just put in there. So for Cherie, she's got a couple ways to connect with her Facebook group, this is playing in there and on my business page. But also she does as she said, the like a coffee chat kind of thing, which I'm open to as well. So the information's in there on how to reach us, or private message, or leave a message in here, whatever way. We're here to help, and we're happy to just jump on a free call with you, either Cherie or myself, and help you whatever way we can. Whatever struggles you're going through, we'll hopefully impart some wisdom and make it a little bit easier for you. So I think I put all the right stuff in there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm on my iPad and I can't see the chat.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately. Oh, there it
Yeah.
is. I got it.
Oh, you have it? I know. This is
learning technology too.
Yeah, this is a new platform for us, so we're still trying to figure everything out. But hey, we're live. We did it. We've got chat. We've answered some questions. I think we've hopefully we've done some, served you guys, and certainly we're open to do more, and we're even more open to talk to you and see how we can help. So I think we're good. Are you good, Cherie?
Yes, I think we're good. I think
Okay.
we did it. We've been talking about it for a week, and we did it.
Yeah. So thanks, everybody. We really appreciate you being here. And anybody that's watching it in a replay, if you could hashtag replay in the comments, that would be really helpful for us so that we can get an idea of who's watched and where from and all that kind of stuff. And certainly, any questions, either on Cherie's Facebook pages or mine, more than happy to answer questions as we go through this. And yeah, we're happy that you were able to make it today. And Cherie, thanks so much. High five. Which way? This way.
Thank you.
Okay.
High five.
Everybody. Yeah, high
We're
five.
still working on this.
I know.
We need a photographer to take pictures of us.
Yeah. See, there's
Susan.
Yeah, for Susan.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, everybody. Have a great week.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Take care. Bye.